24.3. So the last training there is 5 rounds of 10 thruster at 95 pounds and 65 pounds for the woman. It's 10 chest to bar. Repeat 5 rounds, and after you get a minute break, 7 thruster at 135 and 95 pounds for the woman, 7 bar muscle ups. So it's 5 rounds again. 10 round total. It's very important not to start very fast. You need to project at the end there to know what you're going to be able to do on the last part of your training. It's 15-minute time cap. If you can complete that training, you need to be strategic. Hopefully you do know your body, and then I would recommend to break accordingly to what you can do, that is for sure. So the first movement is going to be the thruster. We can see Xavier performing this right now. It's at 95 pounds. Ideally, if you have trouble with your flexibility, get a kind of shoes that are light and they got a heel. So in that kind of training, that's going to help you to keep good flexibility without leaning forward, which is very bad for your posture. Even if your rep counts, if you're leaning forward like that there, it's going to put a toll on your system and it's not creating a good motor pattern. So I would encourage you to go and buy something like that. If you have long quad, your bum is going to be very far back. So you want potentially to open your knees to keep your back straight a little bit more. That is for people with those specific kind of segment there. For flexibility in the shoulder, you could take a little bit wider. It's going to help you to get that full range of motion in back there. You can take a little bit wider, or even put your thumb not around the bar but on the same side than your finger. So the thumb is not there, and it's allowing Xavier to keep the elbow a little bit higher than the upper back. It's easier for him to engage the upper back. Overall, the structure support the weight, and it's not your muscle that support the weight. Down the line is going to make a big difference. As you finish there, the thruster, it can be like a passive thing to go at the bottom if you're focusing on just the structure of it. You're passive at the bottom, you hit with your chin up, passive, and get your head through. Passive, get your head through. I don't think anybody got advantage there to accelerate the movement. If you can recuperate a little bit of energy, even if it's a quarter of a second every rep, that's a lot of rep, and at the end it's going to give you a little bit more energy for performing those last reps that are going to be very hard. Well, you should also know what is your cardio work capacity through those two movements. That couple needs to be drilled throughout the year. The bar needs to touch below the collarbone. This is what a chest to bar is. Yes, you're allowed to use the kipping there. I strongly encourage you, if you're a CrossFitter, this is what you're going to do. The goal here is to do more reps in the shortest amount of time. So it's very important to use everything you can to execute that demand. Well, yes, it's harder on the structure, but if you want to reinforce the tendons, then down the line there, this is a really good way of doing it. Not for the people that cannot do strict, so you need to practice and be intelligent through what you're doing, but there's a purpose to this. This is really well executed. Xavier is very, very composed, so the energy from the legs is well transmitted up there to the hips, and then after he's pulling with the chest up. If the knees are bent and if they're all over the place, it's very hard to be consistent, and then you're gonna have difficulty to manage your energy. So if you're new to this and you start to learn from the chest to bar, just make sure that you're working into a good fashion where you know they're gonna be able to repeat those reps. Even if they're not very efficient in the beginning, what's important is off season, you're going at the same pace with the same structure. So you reinforce a good structure that you can use down the line, and that structure gets stronger. Keep it composed, keep your abs tight so you can transmit leg, hips, and then pull to the chest. After those 5 rounds, you're gonna go back to the bar. If you have somebody with you, like during that minute you want to rest, relax, breathe, maybe take a sip of water there, and somebody else is gonna be able to change your weight, and then you're gonna hit that 135 and 95 for the woman. Understand that your triceps are fried, and then your pulling action has been worked. So you need to get energy in the tank when you're reaching this, because the real overall training for the athletes that are advanced and elite is about the bar muscle up. The worst thing I can see, is that people are just going with the legs, going very, very far away from the bar, and then after they need to pull very, very far away, and then going back over it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. The bar muscle up, you would like to condense your energy and kick very close right there, and then after transfer the energy from the hips, so you remain a little bit more up straight and close to the bar when you have to pass over it, so you're less far away from the bar, and then it's easy after to just crunch very fast or doing a headbutt over the bar, pass, and look, your bar muscle up. Then after, you need to extend. Pay attention to how close and how composed Xavier will remain. So it stays very close to the bar. Be careful also if you have just a few bar muscle up. To secure one rep, 2 very important things. You need to lean over the bar very fast, and your elbows needs to go over the bar also very fast, ideally simultaneously, and then after it's just a regular dip. At this point, you should be able to lock that out. Be careful, it's a trap also. It's tricep, and here it's also tricep. So take this in consideration. Your muscle endurance will be already taxed relax from the first training, then it's tricep here, it's tricep there. So be careful about that. The second part has more tricep than the first one. If you think that you can nail that down, everything unbroken, you would be like in the top 20 in the world, okay? So you need to be strategic. But this is something that you see, oh wow, I can go very, very hard at this because 7 bar muscle up is nothing for me. It has nothing to do with the numbers that you see. See the training as a whole, know yourself, and project to the end. Best luck.